Namaste. Welcome to Weekly Wellness Tune-Ups. This week we're discussing the neti pot, also known as Jala Neti. Jala Neti is the ancient yogic and Ayurveda process of cleaning your nose that basically essentially involves running water through your nose. Warm salt water, essentially. We use a little pot that is made of either copper or ceramic or some kind of metal to put warm salt water through each side of our nose. You can look at a YouTube video to see how to do this. But basically, it's part of the dinacharya, the Ayurvedic daily routine, and it's part of Shakkarmas, the yoga's 6 cleansing techniques from Hatha Yoga. And the reason we do it is because it supports mental clarity, it supports our respiratory health, and it's energetically balancing. Jala Neti is prominently detailed in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, the yogic therapy manual text. Ayurveda also recognizes that it plays a vital role in our nasal hygiene. It's also maintenance of shiro, the head region. And the nasal passageway is considered the gateway to the brain, the seat of prana, our life force. And so it becomes an essential routine in Ayurveda. The nasal, whether it's pouring water through to cleanse it or nasya, putting medicated oil through the nose. In the Charaka Samhita, it says, Nasahi Shiraso Dwaram. The nose is the gateway to the head. So the benefits that we get when we clean the nasal passage is it clears kapha accumulation, number one. So if there's mucus buildup in the nasal cavity, we can see that that's a sign of kapha imbalance. And the neti pot, especially with that warm salt water, helps to dissolve and expel the excess of kapha, which ultimately reduces congestion, heaviness, and dullness in the head. Another really great benefit, which is the main reason I do it, is because it enhances the flow of prana. Prana is our life force. It governs our breath, our mental clarity, our sensory perception, and it really just enlivens all the senses. So when we do the neti pot, especially first thing in the morning, it improves our prana and enhances vitality, alertness, and yoga, meditation, mantra. The morning spiritual practices go so much better. And then another really important component to it is that it actually helps us to prevent disease. Regular cleansing of the nasal passageway prevents colds, sinus infections, allergies, and any kind of other respiratory conditions. It basically strengthens our local immunity by keeping the nasal mucosa clean and hydrated. And then on the spiritual level, it just creates that meditative clarity. It calms the mind, it improves focus, and it really, my experience is that it gives, the days that I do it, I have a much deeper meditation, I have a much more powerful meditation, yoga, and pranayama practice. And if you are doing Ayurvedic therapy where you want to apply the nasya oil, the medicated oils, if you do the neti pot first, it allows the oils to penetrate more deeply and effectively. So basically the way to practice it is you need a ceramic or metal or even a plastic neti pot and a little bit of really clean purified water and maybe a quarter to half a teaspoon of salt, Himalaya salt, non-iodized salt, sea salt, a quarter to half a teaspoon depending on how strong you want it, in a cup of water, and you just warm it up. And then basically you dissolve the salt in the water, and you lean over the sink and you tilt your head sideways, and you essentially just insert the spout of the neti pot into the upper nostril, your head sideways. So there's one upper nostril, one lower nostril, and you allow the water, you breathe through your mouth, gently through your mouth, then you allow the water to flow through the lower nostril, and then repeat the other side. Very, very simple practice. You can look at a YouTube video to do that. Now, there are a couple of precautions that you want to take. Make sure that your water is clean and that your neti pot is clean, that they're sterilized. And if you have so much nasal congestion that water is not going to pass through, then don't practice doing it. And it's also really not recommended for very, very young children or people who have regular nosebleeds. So those are just a few precautions. And also there are a couple of contraindications here. If you have an acute ear infection or chronic bleeding disorders out of the nose, then you wouldn't do it. And likewise, if you had some kind of nasal or sinus surgery, then you also wouldn't do it. And ultimately, best time to do it is in the morning. and especially during allergy or cold season. And basically 2 or 3 times a week is maintenance. If you're actually doing Shodana purification, it's daily, but for the most part, 2 or 3 times a week is enough. And then I follow it up with putting medicated oil, nasya oil, in my nose, and then I do my meditation and pranayama. That's Jala Neti. That's the neti pot. It's a time-tested Ayurvedic and yogic practice, and it purifies not only our nasal passage, but it gives clarity to the mind and to our subtle body. It really gives us a lot of energy. It's beautiful. And if you do it regularly, you can improve your respiratory health. You can have an increase in your mental clarity. And ultimately, if you are doing Ayurvedic therapies, it prepares the body for deeper healing through those practices. That's the neti pot. I thank you for joining me. If you enjoyed this, please share it. And you can also leave your comments here. Share your experience using the neti pot, what you've liked about it, what's been challenging. Are you using other substances besides salt water? How often do you do it? Share what you do. Share your experience. If it's your first time doing it, you can go to any health food store or get it online and practice it and come back and leave comments and how it goes for you. Until next week, have a wonderful week. Fill your heart with love. Express it in every action. And we'll see you next time. Namaste.